All right, greetings everybody. Thanks for watching here today if you're on. So today we've got a few things to talk about. We've started a new initiative as a part of IOTfuse and MedFuze. I run another, well, in the past I've run another conference called MedFuze, which is all about interconnectivity within the medical and healthcare space. It's been a very enjoyable conference to run. It's usually been in October. We've done it over the last couple of years, and we have all sorts of very interesting speakers that we've had at MedFuze in the past. I'll try to share my screen here and show you some of the speakers and show you what MedFuze looks like. Let me see if I can share my screen. So MedFuze is this conference here, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with MedFuze this year. Maybe we'll have to schedule it as a virtual meeting. Maybe we'll have to schedule it as a hybrid conference. We'll see. Tough to say what the future holds in October, given what we're going through now. But you can see we've got a lot of really interesting speakers lined up for this year already. Folks from Vios Medical, which is part of Murata, a bunch of startups, somebody from Siemens, somebody from Virtuel. So it's been a really great and fun conference. In 2019, we had a guy from Google, from Mayo Clinic researchers, other startups, biomedical professor from the U of M. Really, really great folks, really awesome folks, and it's all about the connected medical space, which has been a space that's been really sort of on the edge of both healthcare and at-home monitoring, as well as the actual clinical, center of the space, you might call center of the medical diagnostic space. So you get a very interesting, innovative crowd, and you kind of run the gambit from, are you talking about things that are far away from the human body, things that are far away from the actual in-process, in-clinic surgery or procedure, or are you talking about preventing things from happening, or are you talking about after the procedure? There's also discussion on pharmaceuticals, database management, security. It's been a really great show. So really hope that we can run that as well this year. But in the interests of being responsive to what's going on in the world right now, I know we've got a conference to run. We have IOTfuse, the virtual conference, scheduled for the 14th through the 16th, and we're still working very hard on that. But just given what is going on with hospitals and having a severe lack of resources related to COVID-19 patients and the incoming tsunami of patients that we're going to see in the next couple of weeks, we have responded with our MedFuze community, and we're asking you if you can help to come and lend us a hand with your 3D printing expertise, if you have a 3D printer, or if you are in healthcare space or healthcare research space, and you might know something about what hospitals need and what are the healthcare needs, we ask that you come and take part in the discussion that we're having on our Discord app. There should be a link if you're on iotfuse.com on our blog. Just click on the link, or if you're watching this on LinkedIn or somewhere, we have a Discord chat going. But I just want to go back and share my screen again and kind of explain a little bit what has prompted this. So you might have seen in the news that there has been sort of a worldwide hackathon already going on, with hospitals turning to crowdsourcing and 3D printing amid equipment shortages. This started in Italy, where we had this guy who helped make some valves using a 3D printer in Italy. Of course, Italy has been a lot further ahead in terms of the COVID-19 outbreak, and so they've had the same need for parts for longer than we have. But here in Minnesota, we've seen volunteers sewing masks for healthcare workers facing shortages. And so people are banding together to sew those masks. That's not the same as an N95, a protective, let's say a protective mask. It's more of a surgical mask, but it's still something that it sounds like it's been helpful. And I know that you might be asking yourself, well, this is just the news talking, right? So is the news really going to tell us something that we need, or is it just sort of noise? Well, within my community, we have people who are at the Mayo Clinic and who are at these hospitals, and they have told me that this is something that is needed. They are expecting a huge number of patients, and so there is a huge need for supplies. This is a picture from our discussion group from our Discord, and let me just show you a couple quotes that we have. Basically, a guy said in the Discord already, honestly, when things get desperate, which will happen within the next week, we will take whatever we can get. Homemade 3D printed masks will work better than CDC approved bandanas. Don't let FDA regulations necessarily guide your decisions. There are some nurses and providers making masks from Kleenex and masking tape. We can do better and cannot wait for the federal government to pull through. We as healthcare workers appreciate whatever PPE, including masks and face shields, that we can produce. This production may be life-saving when there is nothing. I understand that some masks produced need filters, but there are other options that will still work better than cloth masks. Please consider getting the word out as fast as possible to get on manufacturing. The rural hospitals I cover do not have any cushion or reserve that Mayo Clinic has. Once the major hospitals are overwhelmed, we will be left struggling to provide care to patients with what little resources we have. I thank you all for getting involved and offering help. This is somebody who is based in Washington State, by the way. Here we had, so that was a recent graduate from Mayo Clinic. This is somebody from Mayo Clinic Engineering. I agree with that last post, referring to that post up there. I don't know how well they work because I haven't looked at the specs, but I know some people trying to repurpose vacuum filter bags. One physician told me it's better than nothing, and that may be true unless you start to depend on it to trust you. It might be better than nothing if you're only in occasional contact with the virus, but I suspect it just doesn't hold up for constant exposure. That means some healthcare workers may get by with less protection to let the frontline staff get by with more. I would definitely be considering two things: mask fit and filtration material efficiency. So this is some of the conversation from today. This is some of the conversation that's going on right now in our Discord. So this is what the inside of our Discord looks like. And we really need your help. We really need people to join and to, if you've got 3D printers, if you have access to something that can help, please join and please let us know what you've got, and please take part in the discussion. If you're a part of a hospital or you're part of a healthcare facility and you have certain needs, or you want to put your 2 cents in something that you're seeing on the front lines, please let us know as well. If you have pictures, you can always put pictures into Discord. That's always helpful to help other people understand what's going on. Give people an idea of what's going on in the front line, or give people an idea, if you have a 3D printer, what you have and what you think you might be able to make. Some of the other discussions, I encourage you to sign on and read some of the other discussions that are going on. It sounds like there's not only a need for these protective masks, but also face shields and other kinds of parts and protective equipment. Again, people are making protective equipment out of tape and Kleenex at this point, and it's just going to get worse. So please join this and let us know what you think. If you know someone who has excess manufacturing capacity, please join. Please ask them if they might be able to help as well. This is a very serious problem going on. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about related to COVID-19 resource acquisition. I may talk about this a little bit again or a little bit each day, but I think it's just an important thing as folks who are interested in the Internet of Things and the medical Internet of Things and healthcare Internet of Things. You know, some of this has to do with just equipment and building hardware, building the thing, right? Sometimes it has to do with connecting the thing, but right now we just need stuff that helps protect people and helps our healthcare workers. So we have a lot of very creative and innovative people in our community, and we could really appreciate it if you could join. So with that being said, I know I've got a lot of other questions and interest from sponsors and attendees in terms of where the conference is going and what we should, what kinds of technology we're setting up to improve the discussion and keep things moving forward. Apart from just the Discord app, we do have an IOTfuse Discord app as well, which I could show. So that one's going strong. I will show you again. I'll show you my screen and then jump over into the IOTfuse app. So here we have more. It looks like somebody else just jumped in and started talking about what they might be able to do for 3D printing. That's awesome. Thank you, Brad. Going into IOTfuse here, we have a bunch of other discussion going on. We have people clicking, people showing stuff that they're building already. It looks like some of the folks may already know each other. So that's also very encouraging to see. So join our IOTfuse group if you're just interested in the IOTfuse discussion. Now, as far as the actual conference itself, I know I have a lot of people who have been asking, how am I going to get connected? How am I going to view the presentations? What's that going to look like? And then we have people who have been asking, how am I going to actually present if you're a speaker or if you're a sponsor? So today I want to cover a little bit about what it will look like on the front end to the people who are viewing the presentation, so that if you're considering purchasing or just joining the conference, I can show you. This is an app that I built myself. I've been sending out links and showing people where you can access this app and where you can access previous year materials. But let me just kind of run through and do a quick demo, and then I can talk about some of the ways I've been using this app and what that app will look like during the conference. So I guess I'm going to go back to screen share again here. Screen share. All right. So basically, this is a version of the app. So the app is called the Conference app. It's spelled kind of weird. CONFRNZ. You can go to conference.com to read about how it works, and I have a little video on there and everything, and some instructions on how to log in. We've had Twin Cities Startup Week as a customer for this app, so shout out to them. And then we also use the app for ourselves. This can also be linked to under all of our different websites under the About section. You can get access to our materials by basically going and just entering in your email. And then once you've entered in your email, you can sign in through an email link that gets sent to your email. So it's very easy, seamless. You don't have to hold on to a password or anything. You just need access to your email. So then once you're in, the app looks like this. And this is a way that I've been using the app for myself internally to improve my workflow. So within running the process of running a conference, you have a lot of really complicated stuff going on in different business segments. You've got organization of the organization itself. You have communication procedures, customer service, web, how the website works, marketing, logistics. Well, we don't have as much logistics anymore. We don't have a facility anymore, so it's not a physical conference. A lot of these are not valid anymore, but we basically post videos, and we use YouTube for this because they're basically just a bunch of ways to communicate to our staff how these processes work. And so we set up these short little YouTube vignettes, and they sit out there, and it's all organized based upon what division you're looking at. So if it's customer service, we have ticket management, we have frequently asked questions documents, conference meeting, day of tasks, stuff like that. Just because we've had a lot of spread out remote workers working on this conference for a long time. So that's basically the workflow, or sorry, the overview of what the conference app will look like. For this virtual conference, we'll instead have a placard for the workshop, a placard for day 1, day 2, day 3, and then here we'll have a virtual exhibit booth with virtual materials. Then we'll have some supplemental materials, and then we'll have a jobs table for anybody who's interested in looking for jobs. We've had some requests, and we definitely have companies that are recruiting in this time. So that'll be nice too, to get people connected with that. And then inside of each little app, we're going to have, instead of YouTube videos, we'll have Vimeo videos that are live streaming, and you can kind of jump in and out of each room as you move along. So that's what the app looks like. What else can I show you? Okay, so Yeah, that was basically what I wanted to show. So I'm using this app that I had created originally to host all of the previous year materials, and it's going to work for just running a live conference. So basically that app in conjunction with Discord is part of how I'm building a completely virtual conference. But if you have other ideas and other things that you'd like to contribute, please let me know. I've been trying to think of some other apps that might fill in some of the gaps of what people like to see when they're involved in a community, in the physical world. So just let me know if you have other ideas. Love to get that incorporated into the system as well. But again, just to kind of show the design, this is probably what the conference layout will look like. We'll have workshop 1, workshop 2, conference day, virtual exhibit, supplemental materials, and jobs. That's my plan. If you have anything else that you'd like to see, please let me know. And I should have an app spun up in pretty short order, and I can start adding videos and adding materials on there for any sponsors that have kind of pre-conference, pre-streaming setup stuff that they want to put together. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. We're getting close to the end here for 15 minutes. Please send us your thoughts, join our Discord, and